Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the weekly astrology from February 12th to February 18th. My theme for this week is it really the week of love? As always, if you guys are new, this is Richard from the Star Whisperer, and I value and appreciate all of you who tune in, listen, follow, share, and subscribe. You are all amazing. And you can find the transcript to today's weekly weather, which will be featured on astrostar.live, an upcoming astrology application on your mobile device. So when we look at this week, everyone is notably aware that, in fact, Valentine's Day is coming. The season of love, romance, and celebration of it all. After having so many conversations with different clients and looking at the astrology for Valentine's Day itself, my question has become, is it really the season of love? You see, so many people may be feeling this contentious energy within their relationships, asking themselves, is this relationship really for me? For those of you who have been reading the past few weeks and been paying close attention to my weekly astrology, you know that the energy has been climatically building, especially with Pluto officially navigating Aquarius. Last week, we had our first personal planet, Mercury, join up with Pluto in Aquarius. This week, that energy is amplified as Pluto joins with its lower octave, Mars, and later in this week, Venus. So let's go ahead and discuss some of the patterns and themes that are unfolding, what you can potentially anticipate, alongside some follow-up questions to help you navigate this week's energies. So, what are some of the important transits? We have Mars entering Aquarius. We will have Venus in Capricorn, sextiling Neptune in Pisces. On Valentine's Day, we have Mars in Aquarius, conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. We have Mercury in Aquarius, sextiling Chiron in Aries. Venus will enter Aquarius. Then we have Mercury in Aquarius squaring Uranus in Taurus. And then we have Venus in Aquarius conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. So let's go ahead and unpack this. As we start off the week on Tuesday, in celebration of Mardi Gras, we have Mars entering the sign of Aquarius. After spending so much time in Capricorn through January, focusing deeply on long-term goals and visions, putting together a specific plan based on intentions to achieve said manifestation and goals, the Martian energy is going to function and operate a bit differently moving forward. Over the coming weeks, we may find that there's an individual or there is a collective desire and passion to focus more deeply on matters related to the collective, related to humanitarian efforts, friendships, or maybe even the advancements of technology. Mars in Aquarius inspires us to balance our individualistic pursuits and finding ways in which this can be channeled towards benefiting the greater whole. Some individuals may find over the coming weeks that they need to assert themselves more honestly and boldly as well. I want to remind you that this is not a time of conformity. It's a time to embrace our uniqueness and find ways to share this with the collective for the benefit of our community. It will be interesting to see the developments in technology as we have all of these personal planets and Pluto transiting through Aquarius. Has anyone noticed the latest breakout technology with the Apple Vision? On the same day, with Mars entering the sign of Aquarius, Venus will join in some lovely conversations with her higher octave, Neptune. In perspective, this makes me feel into the concept of dreams becoming reality. At one level, there's a pragmatic approach when working with Venus and Capricorn. How one relates to themselves and others may feel deeply romantic, spiritual, and even traditional with that Capricorn energy. For those of you who are working on manifestation projects like love, for an example, this is a great day to lean into spirit, aka Neptune. At another angle, this is a very creative day in which spirit may communicate directly through the arts with individuals. What are your dreams? What are your visions for your life? And what are the tangible actions you could take towards accomplishing or achieving them? Most notably this week, I have my eyes on the skies for Valentine's Day, in which Mars and Pluto will join together for some intense conversations. Tensions may be in the air globally So we want to keep our eyes when it comes to the potential developments for global conflicts. And yes, this is pertaining to outbreaks, wars, and conflict. There's a thirst for power with Mars and Pluto, and someone may do whatever it takes to get that power. This is a powerful moment for the collective. And the last time we had such a conjunction like this, at the very beginning degrees of Aquarius, was back on November 16th of 1779. And the last conjunction between Mars and Pluto in the sign of Aquarius was December 2nd of 1796. And let's be frank, we don't necessarily need any history degrees to remember that this timeline in American history was some of the most challenging, tension-driven times in the midst of trying to establish and build a nation during and after the Revolution. So this transit may deeply challenge us at an individual level to address what aspects of our conscious choices and decisions are no longer in alignment with the evolution of our journey. We may be called to face some important choices and decisions, all of which can alter the course of our future. And I want to add here, guys, that on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, up until the morning of Valentine's Day, the moon will be in Aries until 5:21 a.m. Eastern Time. So when the moon will be void of course, it's as we start this day, it'll enter Taurus come 10:02 a.m. Eastern Time, and it will square all of the personal planets, including Pluto and Aquarius. And so when I personally feel into this, it makes me feel like this is going to be a little bit of a rocky start to the day for some people. So let's have our eyes on the potential for conflict, but be open with patience, acceptance, and compassion. And that's how we can all come together. On Thursday, the 16th, I really think it's important to bring forward Chiron, because Chiron will be creating a beautiful harmonic aspect with Mercury and Aquarius. And what this can do is bring forward healing conversations, soothing conversations. So if there are activated wounds, there is an opportunity to communicate and mend these wounds. And as we continue the week, come Friday, Venus will make her departure from Capricorn and enter the unconventional, the individualistic sign of Aquarius. It's time to change it up when Venus enters Aquarius. It's time for freedom and friendship and embracing our unique individuality. I do think for the weeks to come, having Venus here could be very exciting. It could be a great time to get involved within your community or a new community if that's possible for you. My question is, how can you express your individuality more in the coming weeks? How can you live from a more authentic space and share this with the whole? The last thing I want to mention, though, about Friday is that late in the evening, around 10:53 p.m. Eastern Time, the lower mind and the higher mind, Mercury and Uranus, will be engaging in a square. Often, this aspect can bring forward unexpected news or developments. Such news could be an unpredictable shift, a breakthrough that can happen in someone's life, or something that impacts or shifts the collective. The nervous systems can be amplified with the electricity within the air. That's a Uranus energy, and that may be running through the body stronger than ever. Some people may be feeling even more anxious come Friday night. It's important when these two energies come together to remain open-minded and do our best to gain perspective. What we know is that this may feel like a slightly unstable energy, especially when the moon is transiting through Gemini at the same time. As we come to finish up the week, one of the biggest aspects is also Venus and Pluto conjoining in the sign of Aquarius. This is our third personal planet joining up with Pluto and Aquarius. The last time we experienced this at 0 degrees of Aquarius was February 1st of 1778. I bring this forward truly because humanity has not witnessed this transit for over 246 years. To me, this is fascinating. Now, whenever I'm working with Pluto and Venus by aspect at one level, it's a call back to our body, our physical body. At the core, Venus in the second house and Pluto in the 8th house highlight this unique relationship between the internal self and power, possession, or attachment for the sake of security. Part of this dance that we experience is finding that internal harmony between internalized security and sharing with another individual without trying to capitalize, possess, or control. These are all themes that may very well show up for people this week. Pluto is going to bring forward the intensity to the equation, a desire for transformation. In what respect? Well, the way in which we relate to ourselves and others, and if you are in a relationship, that individual. If there are patterns in which a relationship is operating within, Pluto and Venus will attempt to break any outdated patterns or bring these to light so that we can have a more authentic, freeing, and compassionate relationship. Perhaps some individuals are in relationships, friendships, or jobs which they have compromised themselves. This transit can bring forward the energy to help make it known that something needs to change. The capacity and transformation that needs to be made is ultimately up to each individual's level of awareness and consciousness and their desire to change. At the collective, it'll be interesting to see how this transit unfolds. So, here are some questions I want you to reflect on. Take a moment and think back to your past, of where a dream of yours was brought into reality. What steps did you take? And how can this process give you some feedback to inform you about your current dreams and aspirations? Mars conjunct Pluto is going to bring forward that powerful urge to break free of outdated situations or structures. So what old ways are you being called to revolutionize, either within yourself or in the world? If you're in a relationship right now, how is that relationship being called to evolve? What is being asked to be released? What new form of this relationship is emerging? We know that relationships are shifting and changing right now. So how could facing these deeper truths lead to a more authentic connection with you and others? How can you stay open and adaptable to new information without losing your grounding? And lastly, how can you harness the potential increase of creativity this week without becoming overwhelmed? You see, there's a theme here. How can we stay grounded amidst the amount of the potential for change here? As always, thank you guys so much for joining me in episode 1. I hope all of you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments how you feel about the energy this week and if you enjoyed the audio. And as always, if you need personal insight into your natal chart or tarot reading, you're more than welcome to find that information in the link in my bio to book a personal reading and dive deeper into these personal transits and how they can affect your personal life. Again, thank you guys so much and have a beautiful rest of your week.